Do you want to get started reading some books to do with personal finance and mindset but don't know where to get started? Then this video is for you. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt. I'm a 21-year-old uni student who loves talking about everything to do with money, personal finance, mindset, uni and lots more. In this video, we're going to go through 5 books that I would recommend if you want to get started reading some books to do with personal finance and mindset. My personal favourite is Save to Last, so carry on watching the video until we get there. So number 1 is the best-selling Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is actually the second book I ever read after the last one, which I'll show you later. And this book is such a good book. It's not even that long, but you really should go and read it. The basic premise is that the author had a rich dad and had a poor dad, and he was describing how their attitudes towards money and their mindsets were so different, and fundamentally that's why one was rich and one was poor. Here are a few key takeaway points from the book, but please go buy it yourself and read it because I'm not going to tell you all of the answers. First of all, the rich don't work for money, they let money work for them, as in they don't let their money just sit in a bank account, they actually invest it into assets and property and things to make it grow. The rich focus on their assets column rather than their income. And this leads on to the next point about it doesn't matter how much you earn, it's about how much you keep. So the rich don't care about how much they earn, it's about how much their assets are worth, which fundamentally affects your net worth. There's loads more great content in this book, but go read it yourself. So book number 2 is actually a bit of an older book, and when it came out it was actually somewhat of a rogue one. But in this day and age, in 2021, it's actually still very, very useful and relevant. It's just some of the websites and stuff they use aren't around anymore. It talks about MSN and things like that, which obviously aren't around anymore. So of course I'm talking about The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. So fundamentally this book is about how you get the millionaire lifestyle without having to have the millions in the bank account. Because fundamentally people don't actually want the millions in the bank account, they want to have the millionaire lifestyle and the freedom that comes with it and to be able to travel and everything. And this book teaches you how to do it. It teaches you how to do it in 4 simple steps. It's deal, it's D is for definition, E is for elimination, A is for automation, and L is for liberation. Again, you're going to have to go read the book to actually realise what these are, but essentially these are a few key takeaway points I found from the book. A majority of things that you do on a day-to-day basis you can actually either outsource, automate or eliminate in order to free up your time, which essentially is your most precious resource. And another key takeaway point is to block do things. For example, Tim Ferriss says you should block read your emails at maybe once a day, twice a day, but not constantly throughout the day, because it really decreases productivity if you're constantly checking it. So you might want to check it at, I don't know, 10 or 11 a.m. and then at 4 or 5 p.m. So the time in between and the time before, you can just focus on being productive. Another example is things like YouTube videos or TikToks. I now make most of my TikToks on a Sunday. For things like the YouTube video, I might film 3 YouTube videos on a Saturday afternoon rather than doing one every few days, because it's just more efficient, because I don't have to set the camera and the microphone up all the time. I can just do it once and then record 3 or 4 videos. Book number 3 is a birthday present I was given by my flatmates, and it's called The One Thing. This is the second shortest book I think in here. It's not very big at all. And basically, The One Thing is a #1 bestseller, and essentially it talks about what is the one thing you can do right now that will make everything else easier. So let's say you've got to write, I don't know, something like your dissertation or a project, and it can seem really, really like overwhelming. But it's all about finding that one starting point which will make everything else easier. So if I write the introduction, is that going to help with the rest? Or if I write the literature review, is that going to help with the rest? And then fundamentally, you have to focus on that one thing until it's done, with everything else being irrelevant and a distraction. This can also be applied to your to-do lists. For example, on today, I've got 4 things to do on my to-do list. What The One Thing suggests is that put the one thing that is the most important at the top, because you're more likely to do that first, but also fundamentally I probably could narrow those 4 things down to just one that I must get done today. So for example, today I've got a few lectures to do, film 2 YouTube videos and edit 1 YouTube video. So fundamentally I could just get that down to just my lectures if I wanted to do a day of uni, or just doing the YouTube video today, But I like to think of it as whatever's at the top of my to-do list, I have to do that first and the rest is just second. So yeah, very good book. It's only, I don't know, 200 pages, 240 pages, quick, easy read. You can read it in a couple of days, but definitely worth the read. So the fourth book in this video is the shortest book. It's only, I think, 80 something pages. Yeah, it's like 89 pages. And of course, I'm talking about The Richest Man in Babylon. Some people say that Rich Dad Poor Dad is the foundation. You really should read this first. I would suggest reading this first, as it's nice, short, nice introduction to it. The only issue with The Rich Man in Babylon is it was written in like in Old English, so it's sometimes a little bit hard to read and understand. But if you've read any kind of like olden text or kind of Shakespeare, you'd be absolutely fine. It goes through 7 principles of money that the richest man in Babylon teaches to this student. But essentially the basic premise of it is to always spend less than you earn and to save at least 10% of your income. And this ties nicely into the last video I did when I talked about how to invest, and that you should invest about 10% of your income. So if you're saving a 10%, you can then go invest that 10%. And also it talks about investing that money wisely and not in silly things. In the book, he invests it in a company that goes abroad and was going to say they're going to come back and give him some treasure, and basically he got scammed. This can be related into the real world by avoiding scams, not investing in companies that are going to go bust and things like that. So yeah, as it's only 87 pages, I'm not going to tell you all what goes on it. There's 7 vital money lessons that you should go and have a read. I think this book cost me like $3.99 on Amazon because it's so small, so definitely go get that one. And now book number 5, I don't actually have it with me because I've lent it to a friend to read because I think it's so good. And this is Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. This is the first like personal finance book I read probably about a year and a half ago, and it completely changed the way I have a look on money. And this is personally my favorite, and here's why. It says in the book that you typically try to replicate your parents' income strategies. So for example, if one of your parents is really good with money, then typically you'll follow in those footsteps. Or if they were really like bad with money, then you might end up rebelling against that and say, oh, I'm going to be really great with money. But in theory, all of your like money thoughts are based on what your parents have done with their kind of cash. It also teaches you that you're the only one that's in control of your finances. No one else is going to do it. You know, we grow up in the society where the teachers spoon feed you things for, you know, education. But when it comes to your own personal finances, there might be people that teach you what to do, but you're the one that's in control of your personal finance, no one else. It also teaches you to not look down upon rich people, but actually to admire them and want to be like them in the future and learn from what they're doing. And possibly the most important thing it taught me was that you should be setting goals that are high, because the money that in your bank account that you can see is only going to ever be as big as what you dreamed it could be. If you dreamed it to be £100, it would near enough be £100. If you dreamed it was £1 million and you were determined to get to that goal, you would get there. It's all about the point of determination and keeping to your goals, and you will get there no matter how. As with the other, there's so many more nuggets of gold in there that I don't have time to go through in this video. So please go get yourself one of the books from Amazon or from wherever you want, and please give them a read. So there you go, guys. There's 5 books I think everyone should read. I personally think Rich Dad Poor Dad and Secrets of a Millionaire Mind should be taught in schools as like compulsory reading instead of Mice and Men or whatever, because that's just so important. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.